Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel and a very happy Thanksgiving Day to all of you in the US. And if you are not in the US, well, every day we should be thankful. So I'm filming this on Thanksgiving morning, and it is an unboxing of a deck that I am totally unfamiliar with. And I found it at my local used books, my half-price books here in the States. And it looked like, looking at their tarot cabinet, that somebody was selling off their tarot collection. I've gotten quite a few things from that cabinet at very reasonable prices, so I am not familiar with this deck. But as you can see, I just clipped the side. It's totally in plastic. I am familiar with John Matthews because he has put out decks before. I'm not familiar with this artist, Andrea Aste, but I was very much intrigued with this artwork and the box and kind of the antique tea-stained nature of the box. Now this is the Tarot of Light and Shadow. There's the side. Here's the back. It's by Watkins Publishing, which I am not familiar with. But this is why I was intrigued. This is the most subtle and insightful tarot ever created. Okay, that's setting the bar high. For the first time ever, two decks have been designed to work together in a new multi-layered approach to the tarot. So there should be two decks in here, I'm assuming. The shadow deck, your inner world, your instinct, and what is unknown. The light deck, the outer world, the rational, and what is known. This groundbreaking double deck from best-selling tarot creator John Matthews and renowned Italian artist Andrea Aste allows you to look both within and without. Explore both sides of every question and answer and find the best way forward in the blending of both answers. So, oh my gosh, I got this at a very affordable price. I think it was $9.99 for this deck, but I see in the UK it goes for £29.99, US $44.95. 46.95 Canadian. So let's get into it. I'm very intrigued, and I don't know if you're meant to work with two decks at the same time, or one if you're looking more for shadow work and the other one for non-shadow work. So this will be interesting. So it is in a beautiful two-piece thumb cutout box, very sturdy. Nothing on the inside. That's okay. It's not an independent deck. I assume. I'm thinking it's probably a mass market deck, but it was not on my radar. So the book is a nice kind of matte, slightly satin finish, I would say, but it feels really, really nice. And there is indeed two decks in the box. Oh, wow. So I assume this is for the outer and the dark one is for the shadow. So these, yeah, totally unused, slightly bowed. Oh, look at these backs, you guys. I'm going to take both decks out. Are they the same? Yeah, the backs are the same color and everything with both decks. So there's the insert, but your cards won't go sliding, and I like that there's a partition here. And you have to have that if you're going to have two decks in a box, right? Okay, so I guess the easiest way to do this is side by side. So I assume the pictures are going to be exactly the same, but the dark, one's dark, one's light. We'll see if there's any differences in the artwork. This is very, very intriguing. Okay, so first of all, There we go. Let's zoom in for a closer look. There we go. So both decks, the backs are exactly the same. Not really, well, no, they are reversible. It looks like they're pretty much reversible. Right off the bat, cardstock, not super high quality, but it's not bad either. It should be easy to shuffle. We'll see though with my small hands. I would say these are a little more narrow than regular tarot size, but about normal tarot size. I'm thinking more like the size of a Lo Scarabeo tarot as opposed to a US Games tarot size. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like there is an extra card. All right, so let's turn these over. I do like this, the tea-stained quality of this, like parchment paper almost. And these, I guess this shadow deck is more with blues, different shades of blues. If my camera, my phone is picking that up. So we have the Fool, and this looks like it's, you know, line, interesting artwork here. The Magician. I'm trying to look and see, is there any differences? Yes, there is differences. So here we have, there's birds flying here, but bats over here. So this is more of a nighttime scene, and this is more of a daytime scene, where you have a flower here and you have something, looks like something sort of out of Nightmare Before Christmas. So there are slight differences in the scene, in what is coming out of these vessels. And up here. So there is very slight differences. The figure is the same, but the symbology is different. So here in the shadow deck, there's a key. And here in the High Priestess garment, there's a keyhole. She's holding the book here, and here she is. The book is closed here. The book is opened here. The Empress. Again, what she is holding is different. Headdress, the tree, different headdress here. I'll try not to dwell too long, but it's interesting just to find the subtle differences, and I hope I'm close enough. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer maybe. So move those up so you can pick them out as well. You may pick up some things that I'm not seeing right off the bat. Don't see a ton of difference with the Emperor, except there's something tipped over here. The headdress is a little bit different. Yeah. The Hierophant. Different sides that he's holding his scepter. The garment is different as opposed to this. His little sycophants here are a little bit different. Okay, the Lovers. Can you pick up? What can you pick up? She has a parasol here with an arrow pointing in a direction. There's a crying moon there. Here is a sun. Again, there's little dragon creatures as opposed to birds. There's little snaky creatures here where you have vegetation here. Very ever so subtle differences in the cards, whereas the figure is the same. Yeah, Justice, Lady Justice. So they're flipped. Headdresses are different. Garment is different. The Hermit. The backgrounds are different. This one, he's looking forward. This guy is looking at you. The Wheel. So there are ever so slight differences. So I'm not going to, so this video won't be too long. I'm not going to try to dwell, but there are. So she's playing an instrument here. She's not here. The creature is in a different position. The Hanged Man. Again, ever so slight differences, mostly in the back. No, well, not really. I'm not picking up too much differences here. Death. You've got chopped off heads here. I don't see it here. Temperance. Ever so slight difference. Let's look at the Devil. They're holding swords here. They are not here. The Tower. Here the tower is just leaning. Here it's actually being destroyed. Oh, I love that she's a mermaid creature here, but she's not here in the star card. Very cool. The Moon. Different expressions on the creature's face. Different sea creature coming out of the water here. Full moon. Yeah, the different faces of the moon here. The Sun. Fairly similar, except the plants here are wilting. Here they are blooming. Judgment. These kind of remind me of creatures in James Eads' Prisma. Visions Tarot, Light Visions Tarot, kind of that same vibe. The World. They're facing, of course, different directions. Looks very, very similar, except one is the moon, one is the sun. So now we're going into the suits. We've got an actual hand holding up the suit, the sword from the water. Reminds me kind of a Lady of the Lake type thing, Excalibur vibe here. Both of these cards. So this is a pip deck. So the pips, this is, you can see, wow, I've picked up a lot of pip decks lately. If you if you've seen my my unboxings recently. Three of Swords. So it looks like we can just go through these pretty quickly. It'd be interesting to see what the courts look like. The Five of Swords. Six of Swords. That's a good thing about pip decks. You can flip through the pips very quickly, but you can see the differences in the layouts. The Nine of Swords. They're laid out differently. The 10. And look at the difference in the cute pages. One looks more like a knight. And here are the actual knights. They look very similar. Similar posture. I do like the whimsical, minimalistic illustration, the artwork. I think it's quite enchanting. Queen of Swords, holding the swords differently. And the King. And this is the Ace of Cups. Some creature is barfing something out. The Two of Cups. Three of Cups. Four of Cups. Five of Cups. Six of Cups. Seven of Cups. Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups. 10 of Cups. Page of Cups. Oh, he's spilling. What's in his cup? The Knight of Cups. And this one's throwing his cup, his wine glass or champagne glass up in the air. It's like, to hell with it. Queen of Cups. I do like this artwork. I find it quite fun. Kind of squiggle art. Here's the King shattering his glass. So this is the serpents. So we've had swords, cups. So serpent, I'm taking, would be in lieu of discs or pentacles. The Two of Serpents. The Three of Serpents. Oh, look, they're skeletal here. Four of Serpents. Five of Serpents. Six of Serpents. Seven of Serpents. Eight of Serpents. Nine of Serpents. 10 of Serpents. Page of Serpents. Knight of Serpents. Queen of Serpents. King of Serpents. And now we're into the wands. So the Ace of Wands. It's got a little bit Nightmare Before Christmas vibe going, I would say, in this shadow deck. The Two of Wands. The Three of Wands. Four of Wands. the fives, six, seven of wands, the 8 of wands, the 9 of wands, the 10 of wands, the page of wands, the knight of wands, the queen of wands, and the king of wands. So it looks like we have extra cards. So this is going to be the cosmic mirror. So each one, you know, has a cosmic mirror card. Okay. So let's look at the book. And while I'm going through this, let me know in the comments if you've had any experience with this deck. If you have it, if you've seen it, if you've worked with it, I want to know in the comments. I'm curious to see what, you know, on the back of the box, where is it? For the first time ever, 2 decks have been designed to work together in a new multi-layered approach to tarot. The most subtle and insightful tarot ever created. Okay, well, right now I'm a little underwhelmed. I was, you know, maybe if this were an indie deck, and I'm thinking that it's not, from the cardstock and the, you know, presentation, I was hoping that it would have either more richly illustrated pips, you know, with scenes, or the pips being more, having a scenic background, like maybe the pagan otherworlds, you know. So just a straight out pip, even though they're different, each deck has different, you know, the layout of the pips. If they're going to be plain background, I really just want to see a Marseille deck. But let's look at this book. And I'm really curious to see if you're supposed to work with both decks in tandem. So let's see here. Okay. It is important to understand, and this is in the introduction, there is no, oh yes, there is a table of contents. Introduction, working with the double tarot, the book of the cards, so we go into the meanings, new spreads and sample readings, directional reading, and resources for further reading. So I'm just skimming this down here. So it is important to understand that when you choose to work with the double deck, that it shows us truths from 2 angles, mirroring each other in a strange and wonderful way. The 2 sides should never be seen as somehow positive and negative, with the light deck good and the shadow deck bad. Put such thoughts from your mind. We are a naturally dualistic species, and it can be hard not to see things this way. But the Tarot of Light and Shadows is not like this. It sets out to show you not only 2 aspects of each card, but to show you how they relate, how the inclusion of cards from one aspect or the other changes what you see. Questions are modified and answers take on a different quality under the light of moon or sun. And in the twilight realm of the pre-dawn glow, everything changes. And the answers we receive change also. We believe they become more clearer, more focused, precisely because they show us a new way of seeing. You will quickly see that the decks mirror each other, yet not as simple reflections. Not only will things shift from one side to the other, as they do if you look in an actual mirror, but you will see the other things alter as well. Certain elements on the card will change. We saw that. And you may find yourself wondering why. For example, the Emperor in the Shadow Realm holds an unsheathed sword, and a severed head lies at his feet, whereas the Light Realm, there is no head, and the Emperor's sword is sheathed. So, yeah, working with the double deck. So I guess you are meant to work with the double deck. Ways of working with the double deck. He has 3 methods: Cosmic Mirror Wild Cards, Pips and Courtiers, Shuffling, the Mirror Spread, very interesting. Then we go. So when we get to the majors, you get a description, you get like a couple of paragraphs for the light reading and for the shadow reading, for the shadow card. And when we go into the let's see, the minors. So here we go into the suits. He's talking about the design elements, and suits the element and the design feature. So you'll see rectangles in the wands, circles in the serpents, triangles in the cups, squares for the swords. Here's the tableau of aces, and he just goes into them in a group. Ace of Swords, so you get, again, a description and then a light reading and a shadow reading for all the cards. It's good that there is pictures in here. So, if you're reading this in bed, you're not going to need to have both decks. That would be quite cumbersome. Let's see. So there's some spreads here. Oh, he goes into the Cosmic Mirror cards. Excuse me. You will find 2 of these cards, 1 in each deck. They are sometimes known as wild cards or carte blanche, white cards. Their purpose is generally to act as markers, guides, which can help you choose a specific card from either deck. Each one depicts a mirror, a blank speculum in which anything can be reflected. They can act as mirrors within the pack, suggesting a movement from light to shadow, morning to evening, dawn to twilight. Therefore, if you are using the decks independently of each other, rather than shuffled together, oh my gosh, how can you shuffle all these cards together? They can prompt you to switch from one deck to another during a reading. If you shuffle them into the pack, you can look for them again and decide if the card either side coming before or after the Cosmic Mirror card is significant, perhaps serving as a significator for yourself or an issue you are focusing upon, allowing the twin decks to reflect answers into the empty frame. Okay, so I'm coming to the conclusion that is this more gimmicky, because this is like another way of reading. This is basically just reading reversals. So, but you're using the deck. 2 decks. So you shuffle both decks together, and then, if you have a blue card, then that's the reversed meaning, like in a regular tarot deck. And, the reversed or shadow reading. And if you're reading, you know, the light side, that's more of the, you know, upright meaning of a tarot is what I'm getting. But I haven't gone through the book, so he talks about the card back. The Mistress of Tarot presides over the mysterious city of Sapanisha, where all the knowledge is kept and which lies between the realms of light and shadow. Here tarot cards come alive and the archetypes dance in the streets. She holds in her hands a symbol of the four suits, and the mingled shades of both realms are reflected in the gray-toned palette. From the twin domes of the mirrored city, a great eye looks out. It sees all, for this is the place of ultimate mystery, where help, advice, and guidance are forever present. New spreads and sample readings. The Divine Fool spread, you just use a single deck. And there's an example. So this is what it would mean, you know, looking like with the light side, and this is the shadow side. And the Eternal Truth spread combined deck. So this is what you can, for example, pulling out if you combine the deck. That's why the backs are the same. Pros and cons. And then he goes into what the meaning of each position is. The Cosmic Spread, you use the combined deck. Directional Reading. So where they're facing. So here it says a woman asks about leaving a manipulative group. She draws the Queen of Wands, left here, and the Devil. Here the Queen is turning her back on unwanted attentions or possibly devious activities. Because she is not interested, her tormentors are already losing interest in her. She can walk away. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. All right. On the back of the book, it says, this beautifully illustrated double tarot deck allows readers to explore both sides of a question at once. But don't you get to do that if you read reversals? Looking at the shadow, the instinctive, the inner world, the unknown, and the light, the rational, the outer world, the known. Although some professional readers combine different packs and to great effect, this is the first time two tarot decks have been designed specifically to work together. In fact, they can be seen not as two separate decks, but as one deck appearing in two dimensions. Okay, so I really, really want your input. I'm conflicted as to whether or not this is something I'm going to want to work with or something I'm going to want to keep. Number one, because of the pips. I wish they were illustrated. I just really do. I've gotten a lot of, just plain pip decks lately. Not a lot, but I have gotten them, where there's no extra illustration. They're just very stark pips. And if I want that, I would just get a Marseille deck, really. And I generally, there are occasions I do. I generally don't read with reversals, but I'm thinking just combining this deck could be more of a gimmicky way of reading reversals. So if I combine this deck, this would be the reversed, this would be the upright meaning. So you're just dealing with an extra thick deck, which I don't think my hands could handle. For example, let's take a look here. Like I said, so you can see with this, you can read reversals. Yeah, it's a little on the cardboardy side. It's not horrible. You know, it's not thin and flimsy, which I hate, you know, where the cards feel like paper. They're a little stiff. And let's see if I can even, I can't. I can't shuffle them. Let's see if I can do my little side shuffle. Let's see if that'll work. That'll work. I can always do that. And just a little overhand. But, you know, it's, and since we shuffled that side, we're going to shuffle this side a little bit too. It seems a little gimmicky, and I don't know if it's something I'm going to reach for. Maybe it's something I have to work with in the book. The spreads seem intriguing. And the, you know, using direction and all that, but I kind of do that anyway when I read, especially with Lenormand. You know, you do that. This just seems like, I don't know, if you've been reading for a long time, I'm not going to do it that way. I can't do it. If you've been reading for a long time, let me know if you're a professional reader or just you've been at it for a long time, if you do combine decks. This one just seems like the whole premise, you know, you can do with just, you know, flipping some cards the other way, reading with reversals. I technically don't, but if one happens to be reversed or pops up, I will read the reverse meaning. I also have some decks like the 5-Cent Tarot by Madame Clara, which has keywords both on the card for reversal and upright on the card. So I will read reversals with that. I've just been playing with that. But generally I don't. So I don't know why you need 2 decks. It just seems, because there's no way I could, you know, handle this many cards at once. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think. I would really like your opinions. What do you think? Is it gimmicky? Is it a useful tool? I don't know. I really am kind of in a quandary of what to think. I think I will read the book, but there's no way I can combine the deck together. Unless I, you know, put them, mixed half of it and then mix the other half, you know, shuffled and then shuffled the other part and kind of drew my cards that way. You know, I don't really know. So, all right, you guys, thanks for sticking with me. This is the Tarot of Light and Shadow by John Matthews and art by Andrea Aste. I'm not really sure. I do like the artwork in it, but I'm a little disappointed with that. It's just pips. And yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. It wasn't very expensive. I may end up selling it back to my to where I got it from, the used bookstore. I may have several decks that are, you know, going to be sold, and I may be doing a video of decks leaving my collection very soon. So, all right, with that, I hope you have a wonderful day. If you haven't already, I would appreciate a like, a subscribe. I'm a very small channel. I'd like to be able to continue to do these unboxings and tarot videos for you, and I'd like to know if you're getting any value from them. Does it help move the needle one way or the other? Does it help turn you on to a deck? Does it save you a few bucks? Because, you know, no, I've seen it. It's not my jam. So, all right, with that, I will leave you for now, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.